Welcome to the Living Superhuman Fitness Podcast, where we take you inside our gym, CrossFit Palm Beach, each week. It's here that we are creating new superhumans every day, transforming people's lives, helping them reach a level of health they never knew possible. We strive to answer your most burning questions on fitness, health, nutrition, training, motivation, mindset, lifestyle, and more. If you have a question, please email us at info@crossfitpalmbeach.com. You can also learn more on our blog, livingsuperhuman.com. And if you have a moment, we'd love a review from you on iTunes. All right, it's time. Let's stop being average and start living superhuman. Hey guys, welcome to the Living Superhuman Fitness Podcast. My name is Andrew Frezza, joined today by
Tony Frezza
and Brendan Williams.
And today we are going to be talking about how to stay healthy and minimize damage when traveling. All right, so we kind of broke it down in a couple different categories. We have some travel nutrition tips for you guys, some exercise and workout tips, and then some kind of miscellaneous mobility stuff and different things that's kind of helped us when we've traveled to various places, or things that our members have shared with us that they found very beneficial. So we'll kick it off on the nutrition side. What are some things that have helped you guys when traveling? What are some things that you guys like to do consistently when traveling?
So I'm about to travel next week, so I'm already planning ahead. So that would be my number one tip, is to get a plan in place and bring something from home that's healthy, right? I know when we were growing up, it was always the opposite. Like, our vacations were like the time to splurge. So like, I know our parents would take us to like the candy store and load up on candy, which was kind of a good thing in a way, because we knew that candy was reserved for trips and like special occasions. But at the same time, when we try to travel now, it's a bad thing because we want to like put Skittles in our bag. And like, I remember we would travel to New Jersey and we would drive there and we would play poker on the back of the van floor with M&Ms. So it's kind of hard to kick those habits, but now we make like a lot healthier choices, and packing some stuff ahead is going to help a lot. Yeah. And we can go into more about like what to pack.
So you use peanut M&Ms.
Yeah, exactly.
Got it. Okay.
Yeah. Almond dark chocolate M&Ms.
We have a lot of members that are, some people are traveling every month. So for them to kind of always treat that as a time to splurge, it's not the best idea. I mean, if you're doing a trip once or twice a year, and that is your time to kind of go off track, then by all means do it. But what we found is that it's pretty easy to go off track, so you want to have some sort of strategies that keep you somewhat on track during those trips. What about you, B?
Right. The big thing for me is kind of the vegetables. So like the greens powder is like my best friend. It's like weird putting like a greens powder in your backpack and then having like people like at the airport take it out and like, oh, what's this? I'm like, it's just vegetable powder. So I mean, like the greens powder is really big for me, especially just because like going to restaurants and whatnot, like I don't know what people like cook it vegetables in, and like I can get some sort of vegetable when I wake up. So I wake up, get some water, put like the greens powder in it, shake it up, and I have some I start my day with that. Sometimes I do that at home, but I mean, traveling wise, it helps a lot.
Yeah, I'm a huge fan of it too. I have like the containers at home, but when I travel, I'll get like the single serve packs. Sometimes I won't even bring any with me. I'll just grab it at the grocery store once I've gotten to a new place and kind of landed there. But I love it too, because one, that hits the checkbox of like staying hydrated, because you drink a lot first thing in the morning, and then you get some of those vitamins and minerals, which when people are traveling, they're on planes and stuff like that, they're being exposed to a lot more germs and things like that can kind of break down your immune system. So it's a good sort of like insurance policy to help you hopefully ward off some sickness.
And when you're traveling, like if you're in the airport or whatnot, like it's hard to get vegetables. So like even on a plane, like you just get like a bag of peanuts and like that's it. And so you never know how long you're going to go without any vegetables. So at least you get something in you. Yeah,
I'm a huge fan of that too. What are some of you guys' favorite snacks for traveling? When maybe you're flying across country or to a different country, and you're going to be stuck in a plane. You need something that's packaged. It most likely won't be fresh. What are your go-to snacks?
Well, along Brendan's point of bringing like the greens powder, I I'm gonna bring a whole jar of protein powder. I mean, that's my breakfast every morning, and pretty much another time during the day, especially if I work out. So, I mean, if I'm gone for a week, I'll bring a whole jar, 20 servings, and I'll probably knock out almost all those servings in a week, and that keeps me accountable to actually use it so that I can go home with less weight in my bag. Something to bring like on the plane is a good idea would be like some nuts, maybe like a perfect bar, something that's higher in like a fat or protein content, a little bit lower in the carb content, so that you're not like spiking your blood sugar, so that you get on the plane, you eat your snack, and then like 10 minutes later you're like, crap, I need another snack, and then you're going through like the JetBlue like potato chip brochure, like picking out your potato chips and cookies, because you're just like, it didn't last you very long. So you want something that's going to last you. Beef jerky works really well too, to keep you satiated and not hungry.
No. I like snacking on the protein, like the beef jerky and whatnot, or like the turkey jerky or chicken or whatever it may be. I've also been as like tedious as like making, like prepping a meal the night before and bringing that on the plane with me. So like I know I already have like a good meal waiting for me when I get on the plane. Sometimes it works, but I mean, it definitely helps. Like you have like extra meal to account for.
Yeah.
That's great. I think a lot of people don't even realize you can bring food. Like they think of like the TSA restrictions,
Right.
And they're like, oh, you can't have anything that like is edible. And it's like, no, you can bring food.
Exactly.
Like bring a whole meal, like you said.
Yeah.
That's a great idea.
Yeah, some like hard-boiled eggs, you grilled some chicken or something. It's really easy to take.
The plane stinks up a little bit, but it's all good.
Don't be the guy with fish on the plane.
You get the whole row to yourself though. It clears
Right,
everyone
there you
out.
Some other snacks that I like that you guys didn't say, just like nut butter squeeze packs as individual packs I like a lot, or like a trail mix or something. A good dark chocolate is pretty good as well. Something that's like higher in the cacao content, a little bit lower in sugar, that can actually keep you full and feel like that treat you can have when you're traveling. In terms of protein bars, you mentioned Perfect bars. Epic bars are great. RX bars are pretty good as well. Quest is another one that's pretty good. That's decent in terms of ingredients and stuff. And then back to Brennan's point about the vegetables, like if you can keep some kind of like cut up cucumber or celery or carrots, I just find that as soon as you kind of start that downward spiral, it's harder to stay on track. So if you can just start that trip off with some fresher food, even if you have healthier packaged foods like the protein bars and nut butters that we're mentioning, it still kind of starts you down that downward spiral, and you begin to crave more of those foods, and then you start to not want to eat as healthy as you usually do. So definitely having some kind of fresh food is key. Any other nutrition tips that you guys have? Stuff maybe for like eating out or?
Yeah, I think like, you don't have to carry everything with you. I mean, as convenient and abundant as like Whole Foods and Fresh Market, and regionally everyone has their own version of, look it up when you get there, look it up in advance, and kind of know that you're gonna do a little shopping trip to get some stuff as well. And then as far as like eating out goes, like kind of assume that it's not going to be as healthy as your homemade meals, So take those greens powders in advance, kind of knowing you're not going to get the nutrients that you normally would cooking at home.
Or maybe have like the protein powder that you mentioned, so that way you can choose like a smaller meal. So even just keeping your portion sizes small, maybe you have the treat that you really wanted at a restaurant, but you don't have, like fried food for dinner, plus a dessert, plus a couple alcoholic drinks, that you're just going to feel terrible after that. It only takes one meal to do that. And if you're traveling for a weekend or a week, you're really going to feel that damage just kind of build up day after day.
We touched on like the hydration and just kind of like revisiting that. Personally, it's like been hard like for me in like an airport to just like drink, and then you go out on the airplane, you're like, I don't want to go on the bathroom in the airplane. So like once you land, I would say like grab some water or buy a water and like try to down it pretty fast, and then from there on out, whatever time it is, just always try to have some water like in your hand or next to you throughout like the day or the night.
Yeah, that's a good point. No one likes
really
using the airplane bathroom. I like, back to Tony's point, I always go, the first thing that Nikki do when we land somewhere is we go to a Whole Foods or similar grocery store and we eat our first meal, and then we'll stock up on snacks to have for the rest of the trip, grab some water bottles that we can carry around. That just kind of gets you off on the right foot, so that way you can keep some momentum going through the trip. And also, one of the things I like to do is, especially if you land early, is to try to get some kind of workout in early, and then we'll kind of use that to transition over to the workout side. So what are some of the things that you guys like to do from an exercise and workout standpoint, either before or once you get to a new place?
Well, I think a lot of people like us, they're looking up what CrossFit gyms are in the area. They don't want to miss a day, let alone miss a week of workouts. So
got 14 visits in the committed club. You got to get 15.
Committed.
We'll remotely check you in. If we trust that you actually went to a CrossFit gym. Maybe.
So social media helps. Hashtags.
Yeah, exactly. You got to do a real check-in so we know. But as far as like researching a good CrossFit box, take the time to see what's in the area, and kind of see that they have a welcoming drop-in policy. Not all gyms are like welcoming to drop-ins. So whatever you can get out of the way in advance. I know when people are coming to visit us, it helps a lot that they just know our protocol. They know to come 15 minutes early to get the waiver done, and then they're really good to go into classes.
Yeah, it's definitely helpful to shoot like the owner or whatever email they have on file on their website. Like shoot them an email, just give them a heads up you're coming in for a certain number of days, because they might bring something up like a waiver you need to fill out online, or something like that you may not think of that you need to do. How do you find a good gym? Like what do you look for in a good CrossFit gym?
Personally, I look at the workouts a little bit, but I also look at I look at facility. I look at do have a wide array of class times, just in case I have to miss a class or a late night or whenever I land or whatever it may be. And also are they my home gym? Are they community focused, and do they have outings, and are they welcoming and stuff like that? So I mean, if you're gonna be there for a while, you might as well find a really good gym.
Yeah, do a little social media stalking.
Yeah.
Kind of jump on their Facebook and Instagram and kind of see, because that shows a lot of a gym's personality. And I know a lot of people come here saying hey, I followed you for months, and I'm like, that's cool. Who are you? But no, it's cool that they know us without us knowing them, and they come in and we get to meet them.
Yeah, I think proximity is really important too. I think whenever we travel, we always have higher expectations than what actually happens, and a lot of us think that, oh yeah, I'm going to work out every single day on this trip, or I'm going to work out, go to CrossFit 3 times, and just kind of assume that you'll probably go less than that, or it's going to be harder. Something's going to come up. You're going to have a late night. Something's going to happen that's going to make that not as easy as it sounds when you're at home. So I think proximity and having something that you can either walk to or Uber to once you're traveling, and you kind of know how you're going to get to and from as well, is really important, because you can forget about that. And if you're in a big city, parking, all that stuff becomes an issue. So proximity is key.
Definitely.
Cool. So let's say you're not going to a CrossFit gym. You're going to do something on your own. What are some of your favorite either hotel workouts or things that you can do on your own for a workout?
Yeah, I think a lot of people will tell us oh, I didn't get a workout in. All I had was this crappy hotel gym. And I'm like, you had a hotel gym?
Yeah.
What was there? Oh, just dumbbells, 0 to 60. I'm like, 0 to 60? That's awesome. There's so many things you can do with a pair of dumbbells. And then if you bring your own jump rope, you got plenty of options. When I approach a workout in a hotel gym per se, I gotta set the clock. Everything's up to the clock. 10-minute warm up. That first 5 minutes is so important to just start moving. Warm up for 8 to 10 minutes. Then maybe a second portion where you're doing the strength. You can mimic exactly what you see in our gym. Do an EMOM. Pick out 2 movements like dumbbell bench press and dumbbell bent over row. Go 5 rounds of each for a 10-minute EMOM. Then finish it off with a 10-minute Metcon. Do your jump rope, your burpees, dumbbell thrusters, because everyone loves burpees and dumbbell thrusters, right?
It's a good combo.
It's good. It'll get you a good workout for sure.
Yeah, I wouldn't overestimate the body weight workouts. 100 burpees for time, go. Super simple, super effective, short workout. You'll go in, go out, and that's it. I mean, you just do that in your hotel room. You don't even need a gym if you don't have one. So, I mean, there's a lot of stuff you can do body weight wise, lunges, push-ups. I mean, if there's a pull-up bar, use that. That's awesome. Sometimes there's a bench. You can do box jumps, step-ups, bunch of stuff.
Dips.
Yeah.
Do dips on the bench.
Dips, a bunch of stuff.
Yeah, I mean, a dumbbell is great. Like you could, even if you had one dumbbell, you can do so much. I just like listed off a couple movements. You got dumbbell snatch, you got a goblet squat, thrusters, you could do a press or push press, you could do a lighter deadlift with it, you can even grab the outside and do a dumbbell swing, just like a kettlebell swing, bent over rows, bench press. I mean, there's so many different things you could do with 1 or 2 dumbbells.
Right.
And I really like keeping it simple. I think what Tony said is great. I find I'm even lazier than that when I travel. So like, I don't want to warm up, I don't want to do strength. Like for me, usually I start the clock like the second I walk into the gym, and it's like 15 minutes, and that starts the 15-minute AMRAP, and I'll pick movements that I don't have to warm up for. So sit-ups, lunges, and burpees, let's say, and I'll do 10 of each, and I'll just do that through for 15 minutes. So it's very mindless, and I know from the second I walk in, the end is already in sight, and I feel good. You know, once you get that sweat in, it's such a difference.
Absolutely, yeah.
And all we're doing in here is just like making it a game. You know, we're just like I always say this, we're big kids on a playground, and we're just saying, all right guys, 10 minutes, how many reps can you do? And like, it gets everyone excited. So like, do that in your hotel gym, and maybe you get a coworker to join you, or whoever's on vacation with you, a spouse, like, and you say, hey, we're going to the gym, we're gonna work out for 10, 15 minutes, and I'm gonna try to beat you in reps. And like, you make it fun, you make a game out of it.
Speaking about like a playground, like,
There you go.
I don't know,
Yeah.
like you
Find
go to a playground and like there's a bunch of stuff there. Like we go to Nebraska every year and there's a playground there, and I'll do like muscle ups on the monkey bar things, and then like I'll bike there, and then I'll carry my bike and run with my bike, and then I'll like just do this like crazy stuff, and like obviously everyone looks at me like I'm crazy, but like I'm getting my good workout in and I'm good to go. So
I can just see you like pushing a kid off the pull-up bar, like,
what are you doing? What are you doing? This is a gym.
got 2 more rounds, kid. Yeah, I think that's a good point. Like, you know, we get caught up in being in a gym atmosphere, but like if you're traveling to a new place, like go out and experience it. Go to a park, go for a run, like use this as an opportunity to see what's out there. Cities are great because you can kind of learn about the neighborhood you're in by going out for a run, and kind of learning the area. So I think that's something that most people overlook as well, is just getting out there and doing something, finding a park, finding a ledge to do step-ups onto, or a bench or something like that, and just kind of having fun with it. So
yeah, and as
what
you're
else?
traveling the city and trying to get, you know, from place to place, don't always just go to the Uber app, but, you know, walk it if you can.
Right.
You know, I think as CrossFitters, we kind of underestimate the results or power from walking, you know, because we think every workout you have to be dead and dying on the floor, and that's not always the case. Like, you get a lot out of walking. You know, if you can walk 30 minutes to an hour, and then see stuff while you're at it, and even better if you're doing that, like, you know, on the beach here without shoes, you know, without a shirt, you're just getting vitamin D, kind of getting the grounding effect of not having shoes on. And
also like little hacks, like we work so hard in the gym, and then it's like, I don't want to take the elevator, or I don't want to take the stairs, forget it. Like, you know, it's like, just take the stairs. So like little things like that where like you can still like keep moving or whatever it may be, so.
Yeah, I think like any kind of workout's really good too if you're changing time zones too. It kind of like resets your clock a little bit. Like
Definitely.
if you've come back from like the West Coast, everybody knows how hard it is to like take a red eye. But if you can do like a morning workout, something light, when you come back, you're gonna feel a lot better. You know, or if you're traveling like to Europe or something like that, where you're doing essentially the same thing on the way out. What are some other kind of miscellaneous tips, like whether it be like mobility or just little hacks that you guys do that aren't necessarily nutrition or exercise related?
so, along with jar of protein, greens, jump rope, lacrosse ball.
Yeah.
Right? Lacrosse ball is a good one that you can just put inside the bag. You don't look sketchy at all having a jump rope and lacrosse ball. I don't know, until a terrorist uses it. But
Yeah.
right now it's
For
fine.
now we're good.
Yeah, and the lacrosse ball you can do so many things with, you know, especially after you come out of sitting for a long time. You come out of a long flight, long drive, you know, put it on your hamstrings, get it under your shoulders, your traps, you know, get your neck all loosened up. It helps a lot.
Yeah, I think that's like, you forget how much when you're going to travel, you're sitting. You're either driving a car or you're flying, and you're going to be sitting for a really long time. The altitude really, limits kind of the blood flow. Some people even will sit with like compression socks on to keep blood flow. That's something that Kelly Surratt really recommends. But like as soon as you get the opportunity to get up and move, get that lacrosse ball going.
You might even be doing it on the plane.
Right.
Put it right under your put it right under your glutes on the plane. You're moving around. The people behind you aren't going to know what's going on, but you're
I've used like a muscle stimulator on the plane before, and like that kind of like keeps you active, a little recovery as well. Like you're probably if you're gonna be using it at home, you'll be sitting around as well. So like a Compex or like a Mark Pro, or if you have one, it's great to like use.
Yeah, from a like recovery and mobility standpoint, it's cool how many things you can travel with, because you can travel with the Compex, you can travel with a Lacrosse Ball, you can travel with the Voodoo bands, which are really great. You can travel with a set of the little squat bands that we use, that we throw around the knee for like squat warm-ups. Like even just what we would normally do in a warm-up in class is so good after like 5 hours of sitting on a plane, because you're getting all those muscles around your hips firing again. And we just hear so much like people who have previous back issues, like they hurt themselves a lot when traveling, because you're sitting for so long, and then you go and try to move luggage and stuff when you're stiff, and you're like twisting and carrying and doing these things when you're in a kind of a open state to injury, and it's really can be a recipe for disaster. So that's one thing to really watch out for is, you don't want to do something on a vacation that puts you out for 2 or 3 months, and some of the little mobility things are way more important than you might think until something happens to you.
Yeah, definitely.
Another thing that I really love is melatonin. If you're changing time zones, or even sometimes for me just being out of my normal routine, it can be hard for me to fall asleep at night sometimes. So having some melatonin on hand, it just kind of resets your internal clock, especially when changing time zones. That's one of the few things that I've tried that helps me with sleep. So
I like bringing vitamin C. It helps fight against bacteria infections. So if you catch anything on the plane, having vitamin C with you, and just have it pre-portioned. Like you don't have to bring all the jars and everything. If you're bringing a multivitamin or any kind of vitamins, just pre-portion it into little Ziplocs, and you're good to go.
I have one of those things that the old people use with like Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. Hey, you laugh, but we do it once on Sunday and we're good to go. Or we have 7 days worth of vitamins and stuff for our trip. So
he says we, like me and my old friends.
Yeah, not
me and my 90-year-old
people.
My 90-year-old neighbor. Cool. So I think that's it. You guys have anything else to add?
One thing we didn't cover was like, because we're thinking about, all right, going on vacation, going out for work. A lot of people visit family on vacations, and that can be like kind of an awkward situation if you're used to eating bad with that family, making 1 million cookies.
Oh my gosh!
Didn't you guys make 1 million cookies?
Insane.
Yeah. So you don't want to offend them, right? You don't want to say like, oh, you made 1 million cookies, but I won't eat one. So kind of being upfront with your family, letting them know, hey, I'm doing this diet. Hey, I started restricting dairy and gluten. And you might say something that they catch on to, and you could positively affect their life in a way you never knew possible, just by sharing like some new eating habits or something.
You can get them to work out with you.
Yeah, it probably won't impact them like on the spot, but you'll plant a seed and you'll come back like 3 months later, and then they'll be like, oh, that thing you're doing, I read an article and now I'm doing this, and it's cool. You kind of start like this cascade of positive habits in someone else's life.
Yeah. Try to let them know in advance, so it's not like, hey, I made all these, now eat them, and you're like, oh, just kind of be polite about it, and they'll respect it for the most part.
Another thing I thought of is a lot of people drive places, and you can easily throw a dumbbell or a kettlebell in your car. So we're talking about what you can fly with in terms of like a jump rope or a lacrosse ball, but I mean if you just bring a kettlebell, you can do so many things. Absolutely. So if you have that at home, or if you're doing it at a time at the gym where we're not using them, and we can let you borrow one for the weekend or something like that, that's really helpful. So I think we'll wrap up there. Thanks for joining us. Travel safe, stay fit.